And we're back.
And we're back.
So right before we started, and we'll get into what the topic at hand today. But right before we started, Zach was like, "Oh, you got a new light in the background, but with no bulb in it. I'll have you know that it is a electric. Hold on a second. There it goes. Oh,
I thought it was like a moment where I'm struggling with my AirPods. I thought you were like, check it out. Hold on, check it out.
Yeah, no. I didn't press it all the way. Yeah. So as hopefully the listeners will see, I have been my background's different. So I'm in the middle of rearranging the office. That's why I have a very plain background lately. But I'm in the middle of moving all of that stuff over here, like redoing shelving and stuff like that. So anyway, but yeah, I just had to mention that I've got this cool new light with the Bluetooth. And Zach made the reference to today's show, which just went live this morning. It's called Rotisserie Chicken in the Back of Costco. Mm-hmm. And
there's a reason
he's got issues with his Bluetooth headphones, which he's not even wearing right now because are they working, mad. Zach?
No.
They're not working?
They literally have worked all morning just fine. No problems. I get on to do this and poof. I don't know. Whatever.
They poofed?
I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Okay, so
today we're talking about chicken. I hope you guys are buckled up. We have some chicken recipes that we want to share.
Oh man, so good.
Hustle Machine has moved from a talking about entrepreneurship and things like that to a cooking show. So move over. I almost said Rachel Ray, but I don't think she's relevant anymore.
No, that's not true.
Who would be the most relevant?
I saw her make a really good
Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey doesn't cook.
Gordon
Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay, that's it.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay's relevant. I think that Rachel Ray's still relevant. Like she's got like a new show. It's like 3 for something or whatever. I was over my grandparents were watching it the other day, and then she's got like a talk show and stuff. Yeah, she's definitely relevant. Anyway, that is not what we're talking about today. We are not a cooking show, but our episode this week, launched today, is about rotisserie chicken in the back of Costco. Now, what does that mean? Our episode today is talking about loss leaders, right? So what do you offer as a business to get people in the door that you don't mind taking a hit on so you actually do get people in the door so you can make residual sales after the fact? So if you haven't watched the show yet, I'm getting like crazy echo from your side, by the way, because you don't have your headphones in, but just throwing that out there. So the whole concept with Costco and Sam's and places like that with the rotisserie chicken, because it is super cheap, like it's probably half the cost of what you would get if you went into a normal grocery store. But the idea is with a loss leader and their retail environment is that you're going to go in to Sam's, Costco, whatever. You're going to go walk all the way to the back of the store, and you're going to walk all the way to the corner of the store. Typically, that's where the department is. You're going to walk all the way to the back, and that's where you're going to purchase that item that is way cheaper than it should be. They actually lose like millions of dollars a year, I believe, on that product alone, just to get people into the store, into the very, very back, so that then on the way out of the store, they will purchase other things. They'll continue their shop there. They'll see items near the checkout that they'll purchase. That'll by far make up what they're losing on the chicken. But that gets people into the store and gets them all the way into the back, and so that they'll shop on their way out, right?
Yeah.
So our thought is, what can you do as an entrepreneur, as a freelancer, solopreneur, whatever? What can you offer that's a loss leader, or maybe not a loss leader, but a no revenue item, something that you're not going to make any money on that you can offer at cost? What is that you can offer to get people into the door, to get visibility? So on the show, we talked about, as a freelancer, what can you do to get visibility? Do you just do things for clients super cheap? Do you do things for free and just say, hey, I'm going to stick it in my portfolio later? Like, what does that look like? So Zach, you can continue that because I've been talking on and on.
Well, before we get too far, I want to I don't think we introduced who we are and why you should listen to what we have to say.
Oh, yeah,
Zach,
I went straight in.
I'm Zach. This is Jason. We are co-hosts of Hustle Machine, and we are co-owners of Market House, a website development and marketing agency based out of Atlanta. So we have been in the marketing world, website world for what,
3 or 4 days. 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, at least 3 or 4 days. So we've cut our teeth and we're in it now, and we're gonna skip right to giving you guys advice on what you should do. So
yeah, for a long time though. We've had our business together. We've had Market House for like almost 9 years.
We've been marketing
freelanced long before that.
Yeah. Business cards are in the mail. That's right. Speaking of that, I need to talk to you about that, Jason. So anyways, we are like Jason said, I think there is a benefit to loss leaders, and a lot of companies look at that and say, well, I can't afford to give away anything. And I think what we want to do is challenge you to think of it in a different way. Think of maybe some different ideas that you could try instead of just cutting it off altogether and saying, no, I don't think that this is going to work for my business. I think it can be applied for anybody. It doesn't have to be just Costco or Sam's Club or whoever. I think in the podcast, the episode today, you gave 2 poultry examples, which I thought was hilarious because you talked about Publix with the turkey. And this is an older episode. I forgot about this. This is after
Chris shot this early January, I think.
Chris, you might want to plug your ears because this is Go Dogs. I think we made a bet that still has not been fulfilled yet of you being decked out in all Georgia gear on a show. We'll have to make sure that happens on one of these. So he said I did get that hoodie. Good. I'm glad to know that you own a piece of real champions, the Georgia Bulldogs. But anyway, so the benefit of a loss leader is you want to try to get people in the door that you can now sell them on other products or other services that you offer that don't cost you too much. And some of those don't have to be necessarily a service. You could give away a free ebook or a download of some sort. And that's a big thing that happens today. We see a lot of companies, what they'll do is they'll produce several different ebooks or videos, and they give those things away, and they'll spend thousands of dollars on them. How would I interview you on the deal? Done. Let's put it on the calendar.
Bet, do it.
But I think that there's lots of companies that spend thousands and thousands of dollars on material that they're just going to hand out. That is a loss leader because you're getting their attention and getting them to pay attention to what you have to say, building a relationship of some sort, giving them something there where there's not a whole lot of buy-in. And then you have the time to invest in spending more money with you down the road. Whether it's I think Jason, you had some examples for freelance designers.
Yeah. So one of the things you get approached with a lot, it kind of seems like a standard. If people know that you are a designer, they're like, "Can you make me a logo? Can I get a logo? How much for a logo?" And that's a question you'll get a lot. So, when you're starting out and you need visibility and you need to build up like a library of stuff so you can actually show people your portfolio in the future, why not? Why not just do it for cheap or do it for low cost or whatever, But I think that when you're continuing to do it, then you can maybe charge a little bit more. But if you want to take it into the terms of a loss leader, so like, how do I get people in the door? So I can do a logo. That's what everybody always asks for. But like, you can do other things, right? So like, you can do You could do like their print materials. Maybe you have like a connection with the printer, and so you can get things, pretty inexpensive. They give you a good price because you send them a lot of business. Maybe you could do websites like us, or maybe you do illustrations or whatever it is. I'm just going like in the realm of like design right now, but like I think that you can offer something, say like a logo. Say you offer that super cheap, or you try and bundle it in with another service. What are you shaking your head for?
I was going to say, let's do this. We've got a lot of people watching right now. Here's what I'd like to do. So that this is, we want to get you involved in this conversation tonight, this morning. What we want to do is get you involved in the conversation. So leave a comment, and Jason and I will start thinking of some loss leaders that you could possibly give.
For your industry and business?
For your industry or your business. Yeah. So
that's a good one.
Put it out there, and that'll be something Jason and I can be doing as we're talking. We'll pick out a couple of them, or however many we get. We'll try to get through some of them and maybe suggest one or two ideas that come to mind. Maybe it's something you already thought of, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's something that you could do. So we want to get you guys involved in the conversation. So again, put some of that in there.
Okay. Okay. So while people are doing that, let's go back. So designer, you can offer that loss leader, say your logo. Say somebody needs a logo. You charge them super cheap for it, right? So you can charge them just a teeny tiny little amount because you are hoping that they're going to get X, Y, and Z service to go along with it, right?
Yep.
So say you go super cheap on the logo, but you talk them into getting like other services from you, or you say they want a logo and they want X, Y, and Z other things, and you have a connection with the printer. You can get them business cards, like we were talking about earlier. Business cards in the mail. You can get business cards. Maybe you get them to them at cost, or maybe you actually take a hit on that because you know that, man, they're going to do all this other branding package and all this other stuff. Let me just go ahead and send them that. So we've done that in the past to an extent. Like if we're going to include something almost as like a gift to that client and say like, we're going to take a loss on this, but we know that they're going to get X, Y, and Z things down the line.
Yeah.
Right?
Think about it as like sweetening the pot.
Yeah.
You're just trying to add like maybe that extra cherry on top. Or if it's something you want to get them in the door, loss leaders is a good way to just get them interested,
right?
To get their ears perked up to see what you have to offer and try it. And I think a lot of businesses don't utilize this in their marketing plan or I mean their strategy at all. I think that they're missing an opportunity to get more attention, get more people in the door. That doesn't cost you a ton. It may cost you a little bit of time. Now, obviously, don't give your flagship stuff away, right? Chris says making a no-brainer is key. Leave them in a situation where they can't say no, right? And that's exactly what we're talking about. You want to give them, to Jason's point, when in the example and our title for our podcast today, Costco knows that their rotisserie chicken is delicious, and you're going to walk all the way across the store to get it. And as you're walking by, if you haven't been to a Costco or a Sam's Club, this can apply to any store really. But as you're walking through, you pass by all these end caps. And at Costco and at Sam's, they also have those people with the microwaves and making samples and all that sort of stuff as you're walking through, that you're going to pass by and you're going to want to try some of it. It's kind of like, when you go to Target, and there's always that joke when you go to Target, you can't just walk out with the one thing. You need to go in there. You end up walking out with like 10 things. Yeah. There's loss leaders throughout that entire store. I mean, coupons,
well, that's like their sale ads, so like they'll put stuff on sale that full well that they paid more than that just to get it into there. But like, especially like back to school time, like they're selling boxes of crayons for like pennies, and you're like, there's no way that they actually Like that's got to be under what they paid for it. But they get you in there so you can buy backpacks and all those other things. So, let's put it in. Okay, so we talked about designers. We talked about retail in a lot of settings. Chris, put that back up there. Speaking of giveaways, one of the things that here as part of the WINJECT community you can get access to for free is just be a part of the WINJECT.com community. You go to WINJECT.com, sign up, and you can get access to all of the content from all the different creators on the site. So that it costs to make that content, and WINJECT just gives it away for free to be a part of the community. So that's their hook. That's their loss leader. So taking it in terms of, you're a creator, you're a maker, and you have like an Etsy shop. You could have your loss leader be some item in your shop. Maybe it's like a custom product that you offer. Maybe do like custom engraving or something like that. And you are selling it. You're selling it at the cost, but your loss leader is your time investment. So say maybe it takes you like an hour to engrave it, and you just don't factor in your time. Because your time is money, right? So like if you don't factor in your time for when you're selling a product, you're selling yourself short. So maybe your loss leader is your time investment, and so you're only going to charge to make money on the product, but you're not going to make any money on your time. But that gets people into your shop, and people are shopping with you on your store, and then that gets you their email address, and so you're marketing to them and you're selling to them, XYZ down the road. But think of it in lots of different ways. So it doesn't always necessarily have to be financial, like you're not actually losing money. You might be just losing your time investment, but you're hoping to make that back up because they are going to buy more from you down the road.
I think one of the things we talked about just recently, Jason, was Simply Safe. We were talking about that recently with a particular client we work with. And Simply Safe, if you go to their website, they have the price marked through, and then you have your a new price, like a sale price, or when you land on their page, it's always like 30% off if you sign up today, and then you come back a couple days later, it's like 25% off today only, and they're willing to get a bulk of sales and take that 25% off, knowing that they're going to get a massive bulk of sales on that day, because people instinctively look at that and go, I got to get it today. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is such a great deal.
Yeah.
Let's put that back up there, Chris. When I used to speak at events, and they used to be held in tropical places, I used to always give away fishnet hats, and always ran out the first day. Yeah, that's a great. It costs you some money. It costs you some things to put out there. But, at the end of the day, you start to drive more business in because...
It's a fishnet hat. A trucker hat?
I think I think it's the same thing.
I'm Googling.
You're going to Google. Landed tons of contacts. Yeah, because you gave... And we've done that with events. We've given away t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. That's what swag is, right? Swag is stuff we all get, but it's also it's to
for years a staple of my wardrobe was swag shirts I got from events, just because I liked them and they were like super comfortable. What was it? The analytics company, SEMrush.
Yeah,
we went to their event several times, and I think I had like 3 or 4 of like the same shirt, just like carbon copies of the same shirt. I could wear it like every single day. It was just like the comfiest shirt. Coming soon, WINJECT merch. FOMO is a mofo. Who do we have here? Nina. What up, Nina? What's up?
I loved your I loved your live the other day, Nina. I was fired up. And like I told you, 8 minutes in, I was like, okay, well, I can't watch anymore unless I get back to work. I felt like I was cheating on myself there. So There are certainly risk factors with loss leaders that you have to think about. You may give away stuff for free and not get anything from it, but that's the idea, though. I mean, it's a gamble. It's not a guarantee. And you never should put your whole business in that risk of only doing loss leaders continually. I think you got to be careful. There are risks involved with it.
Yeah.
But I think that oftentimes, if you choose the right thing, the risk to reward ratio is definitely worth it. Again, there's a risk with everything. Anything with marketing is going to be a risk.
Yeah. I mean, but also let's think about this. So how long do you need to do loss leaders? Is it just something that you're doing to drum up business as you start? Does it become a part of your practice ongoing and forever? Like these big retail chains do. I'm going to look up the stats on the rotisserie chicken because for some reason I saw that a while back and it was just staggering.
I don't think I think you could do it. Well, here's the thing. You don't want to devalue your products.
Yeah.
There is that risk that you devalue your product. However, I think that if you do it for a limited time only, or like you see these clothing companies like J. Crew's a good one, for example. So J. Crew has their outlet store, their factory. They call it factory, J. Crew Factory. And there you see most of their specials and their sales, and it's always there. They always have some new sale. It's 25% off today only. Clear out, getting ready for spring, 50% off all clearance items. Like those are loss leaders because they're expecting you to go in there, buy some clearance items, and say, "Well, I saved some money. I can get me something else."
Right.
And I think that with J. Crew Factory, it's brand like the styles that are already kind of been handed down that were already in the main J. Crew line on the main store that didn't sell, kind of like what Ross and TJ Maxx do. They buy up all this inventory that doesn't sell from all these big brand names, and then they put it in their store and mark it down and sell it. It's the same thing. And I think it depends on the industry. I don't think you need to continually do that. But I think, again, loss leaders could be ebooks. They could be videos that you give away that may be introductory stuff. Those are loss leaders that you put time and effort and money into, and you spent lots and lots of time and money into them, that you're not really going to see a return on that particular product, but you will see the return on if your goal is to get them in the door to spend more on maybe more videos or more downloadable things that you have to sell.
Right. I looked up we won't get into the whole damaging effects that rotisserie chicken at Costco has on the entire poultry industry as a whole. But I just want to mention that this article that I'm reading, it says that Costco's rotisserie chickens are quintessential to their business strategy. They're sold at a loss. We talked about that. They're a loss leader. In 2019, how many units of chicken, how many chickens do you think that Costco sold nationwide in 2019?
This is pre-pandemic. I don't know, 1 million, 2 million? Gosh, I feel like way undershot.
90 million.
That's a lot of chicken.
90 million chickens. It's like a disgusting amount of chicken. But it's a quintessential part of their strategy. That's why, which is funny because when we came up with the title for the show, which is Rotisserie Chickens at the Back of Costco, if you Google that phrase, rotisserie chicken at the back of Costco, the immediate thing that pops up is
Hustle
Costco's
machine.
rotisserie chicken is a quintessential part of their business strategy. And then you'll see our video down the page loading from YouTube, which is cool. But It's crazy. It's crazy that the idea of having a loss leader. I don't know when it is that they picked up on that. That like if we mark that down, we put it in that specific spot.
Nah, man, it's a whole strategy. I mean, they know what they're doing. It's the same thing with like Walt Disney. If you go to Disney World, they place certain things in certain spots that you're gonna walk by that they know you're gonna spend time and money in.
Right. Yeah. I just didn't know. What I'm getting at is at what point did they go, that's what we're going to do? At what point did it become a key part of their strategy? I have a phone call coming in. Go away. At what point did it become a key part of the strategy? Probably it's been 10 years or more, I would think. But I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy that they picked up on a loss leader, and then that is the key thing that's driving a lot of business, is having those in there. Like I mentioned on the show, there were 18. There was a guy in front of me at Costco a while back. He had 18 chickens in his cart. Yeah. Now he had just gotten to the store. Like I got there when they opened, like the business hours and stuff like that. I got there when they opened. He was right in front of me. He took all of the chicken. And then he turned around and started to shop. And I was just like, okay, well, they lost big on that. But if this guy's buying 18 rotisserie chickens, I'm assuming he's going to buy a whole lot of other stuff, and then they're going to make their money back. Because when you get to those stores like that are like bulk pricing, I don't know. You're not really getting a great deal. You might be getting a deal. You might be getting a slight discount. But I don't think that you're getting a deal. Like if you compare pricing, it's like, well, I can go to the grocery store and get this for pretty much the same price, you know?
Yeah. I think Nina asked, she asked, are you talking about lead generation? Yeah, we are. And I think I would like to spend some time on just a loss leader pricing in general.
Yeah. Because I'm saying specifically, Nina, we're talking about loss leaders. When it comes to your business, and what are you doing? What are you providing as a loss leader to generate that traffic, to generate those sales and business and leads?
Thanks for clarifying. So I want to go specifically to just talking about loss leader pricing, because I think that translates across the board. Not just in our case, we've done services where we've just either thrown something in to sweeten the pot as a loss leader. Maybe they're on the fence and they need a new logo, and it's like, okay, tell you what, we would like to do business with you. What if we throw in a free logo design for you? It doesn't take as much time to do that as it did for us to put together the website, but it landed the deal, and it is a loss leader because we could have charged for that logo, but in the end, it was a better deal long term. So I think let's go to the loss leader pricing. I think that anybody can implement in their industry. I don't care what industry it is. You can implement the strategy, but I think there's a way to do it where you don't lose a ton of money. And I think there's a lot of speakers, public speakers that will do this, or at conferences, they will tell you that it was this price, now it's this price. But all along, their intention was to sell it at that price that they're showing you at that moment. And they're demonstrating like, hey, listen, it used to be $5,000, but now it's only $3,000. I think that there's a whole strategy there where it's not necessarily a massive loss leader, and it's not really a bait and switch there. It's what is the actual value of it, and what could you actually get by with selling it and still turn a profit. As long as it doesn't end in well, never mind.
Chris says yesterday's price is not today's price.
As long as it doesn't end in
why do you keep trying to say what I think you're gonna say?
Just gonna move on. So that I think that across the board you could easily implement a strategy of loss leader pricing. And I think Chris, you put in there earlier, first purchase sales are awesome. and that company was giving away 40% off their first purchase. I think I see that a lot more these days. When you go to a website, they immediately offer you 20% off, or 10% off.
Fabletics used to give 40% off your first purchase. Yeah. The problem with that whole sentence right there is that it's Fabletics. Fabletics is the worst athletic apparel
I knew you were
ever.
going there.
It's awful. And I challenge to anyone to prove me wrong. I'm a diehard Bird Dogs fan. Fabletics is hot and it leaves you gamey and sweaty.
Stop.
Don't be gamey and sweaty.
Stop.
My first purchase was my last purchase. Yes, exactly. Same. So they got me. I saw the who's their celebrity?
Is it I can picture Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Yeah, I was gonna say The Rock's little buddy. So Kevin Hart, I saw his ad everywhere, and then I was like, oh, that's a really good deal. But like, they get you in, they show you the pricing, you put the stuff in your cart, but you actually have to sign up for like a membership kind of thing. But you have to, but you can also like cancel the membership. So like you have to like put money on your account, you have to like get the membership or whatever, and then you get it, and so like you get the athletic gear at like a real price, not like crazy expensive once you get all the discounting. But then you can cancel it. But then you have other companies who don't have loss leader pricing, but have a better product. So I liked it for the fact that it didn't have a lot of branding. Yeah, it's got like the little icon down in the bottom. Bird Dogs are the same. If you haven't tried Bird Dogs, not a sponsor. If you have tried Bird Dogs apparel, they're 10 times better than Fabletics. But unfortunately, I haven't seen any loss leader pricing on Bird Dogs. Their hook, and we could talk about this later, their hook is the branding and personality that they have. They are like so specific to the brand guide that they probably set at day one, and they are true to that. They're ridiculous, and they are bawdy, and they are irreverent, but that's who they are, and they own it, and that's every piece of marketing that you get from them is the same. I even got a one of those like surveys, like those customer surveys. It was like, give us 5 minutes, fill this out as a customer, and tell us what you think. And everything was on point. Everything was on brand. Even like the tone of the survey was on brand, and I love them for that. The Chive has the best hoodie t-shirt material. Need to find out who their manufacturer is. I don't have any merch from them, but yeah. So I think this has spun off into a different conversation at this point, so we can probably wrap. But this whole show has been about Hustle Machine. Our episode today that just launched is called Rotisserie Chicken at the back of Costco. Go and listen to it wherever fine podcasts are consumed and enjoyed. And Zach, why don't you smile for us before we leave, because you just look tired.
I am very tired. I got up early this morning. So yeah, we'd love to have you guys part of the conversation. Again, leave your comments. We can even get to those even after this is broadcasted. We'd love to hear more from you guys. And in upcoming episodes, we're going to start diving into some of the hustle culture that is happening that we see across the board. We see a lot of toxic hustle culture that drives people away from entrepreneurship, drives people away from pursuing their dreams, and it makes them feel like they're not adequate to do it. So we're going to hit on some of that in the next several episodes, going to get back into some of that hustle culture and that sort of thing. So we're really looking forward to where it's going, guys. Again, we want you to be a part of the conversation. So next week, join us.
See you guys.
Podcast is brought to you by WINJECT Studios. We are an all-in-one educational platform for podcasters that revolutionizes how hosts leverage content to increase engagement with listeners, downloads, and income. We come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how you can interact directly with our hosts, access exclusive live content with offers you can't get anywhere else from our official partners, join our purpose-driven community, by visiting www.winject.com. If you're ready to build a career doing what you love, then we're ready to see you there.